Here's what I've learned in this season of silence. Most people are not afraid of failure. Yeah. They're afraid of what success will require of them. The problem is not failure. The problem is fear. Fear of being seen. Fear of outgrowing people. Fear of being responsible for the life you say you want. What if I told you that failure has never been your problem? What if the thing you've been fighting, avoiding, praying away was never failure at all, but fear? Fear dressed up as logic. Fear disguised as patience. Fear pretending to be wisdom. In this silent season, I have learned something uncomfortable, something freeing, something life-changing. And today, I need to say it out loud. The problem is not failure, it's fear. This is BasiaTV Podcast with me, just Basia. Welcome to our second episode in our series entitled The Silent Season. This episode is called The Problem is Not Failure, It's Fear. We'll be right back.
Media mogul and the legend agent to the biggest names in international cricket. This is BasiaTV Podcast with Basia Powell. This episode is brought to you by 124 Not Out Sports Agency, the #1 agency for international cricketers in North America and the Caribbean. Welcome to the next level.
I need to tell you something. Not something loud, not something motivational, something honest. It's about failure. Nobody likes to fail. Failure bruises the ego. It exposes us. It makes us feel seen in ways we didn't plan for. But here's what I've learned in this season of silence. Most people are not afraid of failure. Yeah. They're afraid of what success will require of them. The problem is not failure. The problem is fear. Fear of being seen. Fear of outgrowing people. Fear of being responsible for the life you say you want. Fear of realizing you were capable all along. If fear had existed in your mind the way it exists now, when you were a baby, you would never have learned how to walk. Think about it. When we learned to walk, we fell. Not once, not twice, many times, but we didn't stop. We didn't sit on the floor and say, well, that didn't work out. Maybe walking is just not my thing. No, we got back up again and again because the desire to walk was greater than the fear of falling. We didn't focus on the fall. We focused on the freedom that walking promised. Somewhere along the way, we forgot that lesson. We started measuring ourselves by perfection instead of progress. We started believing that falling meant failing. Yeah. And failing meant stopping. But most people are not afraid of heights. They're afraid of falling. And falling to many people, many of us, feels like failure. Yet, falling is not failure. It's feedback. It's learning. It's a part of the process. If we accepted that we have to fall a few times before we learn how to walk properly, we would remove the fear of trying. Yeah. And trying is where everything begins. Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back. Okay, guys, we're back. And if you've enjoyed what you've seen so far, please give a like or leave a comment and click subscribe and follow so you can always be in the know for new inspiring content. Yeah. So here's the truth about fear that changed me. Fear is far more dangerous than failure because failure means you've tried. Think about it. Fear means you didn't even give yourself the chance. Fear keeps dreams unborn, ideas unspoken, lives unlived. And the worst thing we can do to ourselves is to allow fear to make decisions for us. Fear should not paralyze you. Fear should wake you up. Fear should excite you because fear is often a signal that you are standing at the edge of something bigger than you. As we step into a new year, I want you to sit with this question quietly. What do I want to do, but I'm afraid of? Not what makes sense, not what feels safe, what calls you, but scares you. When you find the answer, don't overthink it. Don't over explain it. Just do it. Here's another thing. Here's another truth. I learned in my silent season fear is not real. No, it's not. It is invisible. It has no physical form. It lives in the mind fed by imagination, memory, and anticipation. Fear can be transformed. It can become excitement or it can become negative energy. The difference is choice. This year, I want you to address the invisible feeling you've all allowed to control your decisions. Not by fighting it, but by converting it. Because fear can either stop you from doing something life-changing or propel you toward the life you've been praying for. What you call failure is simply an event, something that happened or didn't happen. Failure did not stop your dream. Your fear of trying did. Let's pay some bills, and when we come back, I will share some lessons I learned about fear.
This segment is brought to you by 124 Not Out Cricket Academy, based in Georgia and Florida, USA.
Welcome back, guys. Let's continue talking about the problem not being failure, but fear. And here are the lessons fear taught me. Lesson number 1, fear can paralyze you, even though it isn't real. It can convince you that you failed, even when you never tried. Lesson number 2, fear is like misery. It loves company. Even though it's invisible, it's loud. When fear shows up, you must become silent. Do not argue with fear. Do not explain yourself to fear. Never share your plans with fear. Fear will talk you out of your blessings, the ones you once prayed for. Lesson number 3. Fear often wears familiar faces. Yeah. It shows up as people, as trauma, as concern, as just being realistic. Be careful taking advice from people who are too fearful to attempt what you're trying to build. I call them fearmongers. Negative experts. They specialize in everything that can go wrong. Things that have never happened except in their minds. They can take your fear from 0 to 100 in a single conversation. Protect your vision. Lesson number 4. Fear is a choice. You can choose to stay afraid, to do nothing, or you can choose to try, even if it means falling, because a failed attempt is always better than a life of wondering, what if? In my silent season, I learned this final truth. Fear cannot be defeated by noise. It requires silence, focus, discipline. And in that silence, you hear yourself again. Not fear, not doubt, not other people, just you. And when you hear yourself clearly, you move. You've been watching and listening to Just Basia. Thank you for sharing this moment with me. And always remember that your location determines your value. So be careful where you place yourself or who you place yourself with. Cheers.
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of any affiliated organizations or entities. The content shared is for informational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute legal, financial, medical, or any other form of professional advice.